This is the Mariners POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Seattle Mariners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, it was never going to be just easy, get through everything, complete dominant win. That's just not the way Mariners do it. It's just not. So I love, honestly, staying on brand. Christopher, are you changing your channel to the Locked On Mariners Postcast?
I'm changing my channel from not a replay of Wisconsin versus Michigan. I'll tell you that one. I don't need to see that. I love Gus Johnson with the best of them, but I'm not watching a replay of that when I can watch Blue Jays Yankees.
Yeah, that's fair. Welcome to the Mariners Postcast. Anderson Harris, Chris Crawford with you. 8-4 Mariner win in Game 3 of the ALDS. The Mariners are 1 win away from the American League Championship Series. Lots of good today. Lots of good. A few bad, but almost all good today.
Yeah.
Eugenio Suarez had an awesome game. Both sides of the ball. You get MVP Cal Dumper. I've done that like 3 times. Cal Raleigh's first home run of this postseason. You get a couple really good JP Crawford at bats, including a home run of his own as well. Logan Gilbert was nails. But we'll talk about all of that. We'll talk about the implications moving forward, looking at the second game of the day with the Yankees in Toronto and what time the ALDS Game 4 will be tomorrow. But I first want to hear Chris Crawford and his thoughts on this game.
I hate that I think like this. I really do. It's not healthy. It's not the way that you should. I kept thinking when they were up 8-1, not that they were going to blow it. And guys, it's so funny the way we panic about stuff. Like you give up 3 runs and it's still a grand slam. I get it, especially in the postseason too, right? Like everything is just heightened so much. But that's also what I hate is that I keep thinking this series should be over. This series should absolutely be over. If you play a better game, if you don't make that massive mistake Dan Wilson makes, you sweep. And some people brought up to me that like, hey, you don't know that. Maybe things go different on Sunday because you win. Maybe the Tigers managed that game differently. Whatever. I can't help but think it, but that's unhealthy. Let's talk about something that is healthy. This team played an excellent baseball game today. Excellent. It was so fun to see so many different contributors in this one because let's be honest, it was 2 guys who were, well, 3 guys who were contributing for you. Not including the starters, but especially offensively. There were so many good at bats tonight. Yes. Even the ones that didn't end up with hits, there were a ton of great at bats tonight. The bullpen, sans one guy, pitched outstanding today. Logan Gilbert was absolutely fantastic. Now you're 1 win away from going somewhere that you haven't gone in 24 years. And how many times have we said that now this year, Anders? It's been 24 years since we did this. It's been 24 years since you did that. You might as well add 1 more to it. So then you're 1 step away from doing something that you have absolutely never done. This was an awesome win.
Awesome win. Man, there's a lot of good shouts for Unsung Hero, which we'll get to by the end of this episode. So comment in the live chat who you guys think your Unsung Hero of the day was. Overall, let's start with the start. Logan Gilbert, man. His split and his slider was working today. I was a little worried about, I don't want to say, maybe I was in hindsight wrong to be as worried as I was about him going into today because he actually does better against lefties than any right-handed pitcher in the Mariners, staff. So, the Carpenter leadoff thing that everyone was talking about did not end up mattering whatsoever. Riley Green has still struggled in this series, and in part because Logan Gilbert was so nasty today. But man, he was so good. Good to see him get some efficiency too, which is something we haven't really seen a ton this year. He could have gone longer. I'm surprised they didn't with the lead, but I don't mind the urgency to be like, nope, we got to close this out like we normally do. And it ended up working out. But talk about Logan Gilbert's outing today.
He was awesome. He was absolutely awesome. And the key for Logan Gilbert all year has been avoiding the big inning, avoiding that 1 inning that takes away, if you go 6 innings and you have 1 bad inning, it can turn a great start into a mediocre start. If you go 5 innings and if you have one bad inning, it can turn a solid start into a pretty below average one, so on and so forth. Well, there was one chance for a big inning, one chance, and he was able to get through it. You know, with runners on first and third, he makes a terrific pitch on what should have been a double play to get you out of the inning, but you're up 4-0. There's runners on first and third, one out. The one guy that really scares you on this offense right now is Kerry Carpenter, the one guy that you feel like, ooh, this guy can do some damage right now. I'm not afraid of anybody else on that Tigers team. I'm sorry. It's just not a great lineup. And Logan Gilbert took advantage of it. He gets out of that inning with just the one run. And what I really loved was that was the 5th, right? That they give up one run.
I'm looking bottom 5 right now.
And then the 6th inning, he just absolutely shoved. He did not take that inning with him whatsoever. Just an awesome ace-like performance from the guy who has the best ace ability on your staff. And there's a lot of guys who are capable of doing really good things on this staff. But when Logan Gilbert's on, and particularly when he has that splitty working, he's just so difficult to hit. And he was absolutely outstanding tonight. And you know what I love too? Because he was so good and efficient today, if you need him for game 5, Logan Gilbert's going to be there. Logan Gilbert is going to be available for if you need him for game 5. Here's hoping that we don't. Here's hoping we can save him for game 1 of the ALCS against either the Blue Jays or Yankees. Still kind of looking like the Blue Jays, but yeah, Logan Gilbert was phenomenal.
Yeah, and you mentioned the 5th inning going into the 6th inning. I just want to point out how, and so much in baseball, you can look at individual performances, right? And it's understandably so. It's probably the most individual team sport of all the major American sports that you have. So it's easy to fall into that category. But there still are moments where you can pick your team up, have a team at bat, like a team situation, right? And I look at in the bottom of the 5th inning where JP Crawford was at fault for the missed double play that could have ended the inning and prevented the run, goes out and be like, you know what? Nah, I'm going to get it back for you. I'm going to hit that home run. Yeah. And I think that's honestly what gave a lot of confidence back to Logan Gilbert is like the run I just gave up in that quote unquote big inning last time
to get it right back.
It's gone. So I'm basically right where I was at square one. So moments like that for me are what kind of separate this Mariners team from the last couple years. And then JP Crawford again hits the sac fly later in the game. There's just lots of team at bats, team moments in this run so far for the Mariners that I really love. So yeah, comment on that. How do you feel about that evaluation?
Yeah, that it was the most complete game that they've played in this series, which is pretty obvious. I know the score ends up being 8-4. Guys, no, it wasn't. They dominated this baseball game for the overwhelming majority of it. They score 3 absolute garbage time runs, the Blake Bortles runs that I like to call them, from the Jacksonville Jaguars when they'd be down by 60 and somehow score 24 points. No, it was a dominating effort because it was a dominating team effort. You got contributions from really everyone. And the funny thing is the 2 guys that carry you on Saturday on Sunday have their worst games of the series by a long shot. Julio 0 for 5, Polanco 0 for 4, does draw a walk. But you felt good in those at-bats even too. Yep. You felt good. You didn't say, oh, this is moments too big for anybody or anything like that. Everybody has a big moment, I think, in this game outside of maybe Julio, which is it's just really cool. And I think that the point you made about that double play, that's a throw JP Crawford has to make. And that's still the most concerning thing for me for this team right now. It's just the infield defense scares the crap out of me. It scares the ever-loving crap out of me. But you make up for it, and you just clobber that home run. Before we get into second half, can we just quickly go through the other bullpen arms today?
Yeah.
Like Matt Brash was phenomenal and super efficient. Eduard Bizardo for Logan Reinhart is one of the best trades the Seattle Mariners have ever made. And I had to look up who it was they got from Baltimore. Logan Reinhart, who they gave to Baltimore to get him because oh my gosh, was that stuff filthy. And then Munoz, a nice, clean job, a very nice play from Josh Naylor to make sure that game is put away. I don't want to go too crazy with the Caleb Ferguson hate. I mean, I know it wasn't good. He was overthrowing. He didn't have his best command. He was fine in game one. He was totally fine in game one. Am I trusting him in a high leverage situation? Absolutely not. Neither are the Mariners. It was 8-1. It was an 8-1 game. That is the time to use that guy. Caleb Ferguson can still be a helper for this bullpen, but it's got to be just lefties. Just lefties from now on.
And that was the curious part about it for me was he came up against, I have to look what part of the lineup it was for. I think it was 9-1-2.
Well, and
it was Baez, Carpenter, and then Torres, which was his spot in the lineup, which again, you got to expect some, maybe actually, no, it started with Torres.
It started with Colt Keith technically, and then they pinch hit Jake Rogers for him.
Yes.
He gets the single up the middle. Better middle infielder maybe makes the play, and then he walks. That's the big thing. You can't walk anyone when you're up by 7. Yep. You cannot walk anyone. Then Torkelson, then McKinstry, and McKinstry gets pinch hit for Baez. Yep. I'm having a tough time getting too upset about that usage. No. I really am. I get it. It's such a big. Every moment in the postseason is big. There's no such thing as consolation stuff, right? Everything matters here. But I have no issue with going to Caleb Ferguson there, especially because, like, Jake Rogers beats you. Okay.
And for those who are really worried about burning Munoz, quote unquote, guys, you have off days. Okay. Yes. If you use your high leverage guy every game, that's okay at this point in the year. I'm not super worried about that. This is why they long played it throughout the entire year. Didn't use him in 3 straight days, and he still looked great today. So, and it's not like he threw a bunch of pitches. I'm still looking at what
9. He threw 9 pitches. He's going to be totally fine for tomorrow. In fact, he'll not only be fine for tomorrow, he'll be fine for 2 innings for you tomorrow if you really need it. So. All of those guys are going to be just fine. That's the nice thing about having the off day between game 2 and game 3. Everything's okay.
Yeah, and like we're not saying Ferguson was good by any stretch of the imagination, but
he sucked.
Yeah, but like that's why you build up the 8-run lead at that point, right? Or the 7-run lead, I guess you could say.
Exactly.
So, like, okay,
well
if that's when you have your bad decision, I'm okay with that, guys. Yeah. Let's kind of let's chill on that stuff. But locks it down. Mariners get the win, 8-4 against the Detroit Tigers in Game 3 via ALDS. 1 win away from the ALCS. I am smelling blood in the water, and I hope the Mariners are too. Tomorrow, let's hope they can go get this done. Come on. I would love to not have to come home for a game 5. Honestly, it's weird as that sounds. I would love to not have to come home for a game.
No doubt.
So, all right, we'll give some quick love to our sponsors. When we come back, we'll talk about our unsung heroes, some more offensive performances that we can chat about. If anything sticks out to Chris Crawford, our expert on the show. And then we'll kind of break it all down, looking ahead to the rest of the series here on the Mariners POSTCAST. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. It's built for people with busy lives. If you're like me and put off organizing your finances, Monarch is perfect for you. It does the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Gross. For me, it's so easy because I am so bad. I'm not a finance bro. I know some people are looking at the stock market, all that stuff, 401ks. I don't like that stuff. So having a personal CFO like Monarch Money is so perfect for me. And it helps organize everything. And even with the little things like where you're spending too much money and stuff like that, it's awesome. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. There's absolutely nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person, especially in the playoffs. But actually getting tickets, it's hard. Queues, login screens, surprise fees, it takes the fun out of it. That's why I use Gametime, the app that gives an advantage back to fans. It's fast, easy, and backed by the Gametime guarantee. you'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all the fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. I'm going to highlight that right there because every time I'm shopping for tickets and I see something and it's like, all right, I'm going to spend $50 on a pair of tickets or one ticket, and then you go to check out and it's $20 more. No, I want to see when I'm choosing my seat how much I will pay after all the fees. That's why I use Gametime. All the fees are included. It's fantastic. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, and go. Download the Gametime app today. Welcome back to the Mariners Postcast. Anderson Hurst, Chris Crawford with you. Mariners win 8-4 to take Game 3 of the ALDS against the Detroit Tigers in the Detroit. And it's a place where the Mariners haven't lost yet this season. They swept them earlier in the year, right before the All-Star break, and they win again tonight. And it was almost a complete performance, Chris Crawford. So before we do our unsung hero, who is your sung hero today?
Oh man, there's a few guys I could go with here. It was so great to see Gino Suarez get on a couple times and hit that homer. And I know he short arms the throw there, but I got to go with JP Crawford. Just a terrific offensive game from him. And I think, I felt great. I never actually lost any confidence in this game whatsoever. Even when they didn't score in the first couple of innings, I felt pretty darn good about this being a W for them. But when JP Crawford hit that home run to make it 5-1, I was like, all right, this is over. This is over. This is just over. And I love redemption. And the Seattle Mariners have been a story of redemption in games all year long because there was no reason for him to rush that throw on that double play. And it was almost a terrific play by Josh Naylor. Real quick, Josh Naylor, I know he goes hitless today. Oh, did he look so much better today?
So much better.
So much better. And, I understand there's a lot going on in his mind, and I'm not going to blame him one bit for having other things to think about. But he clearly was more comfortable at the plate today. Just misses a homer today. Had some really good at-bats, made some really nice defensive plays, including the one to end the game today. But my sung hero is JP Crawford. JP Crawford had an absolutely terrific baseball game today.
Yeah, I'm going to take the easy one and go Gino, just because I think it's so important for him to get going. If he is anywhere close to the hitter that he can be, and guys, this is what he does. He goes through stretches where he looks lost at the plate, or I'm not going to say looks lost. He just strikes out a lot. And then he goes through stretches where he, bombs everything that he hits, and then even taking the walk today as well.
Yeah.
When he's on, he can carry an offense. And right now he's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, debatably sixth best hitter on your team, that's a great spot for him to be because he's not in pressure to carry, but he can if you need him to, need him to come through. And I honestly want to point out his defense as well. How about on the bunt? He goes down the third baseline, bare hands it, and puts a perfect throw to Josh Naylor. I've been really impressed with his defense, him and Polanco, to be completely honest. Both of those guys have defended their position really, really well. I love what Eugenio Suarez is doing. How about your unsung hero, Chris Crawford?
I'm going to go with Victor Robles because I think that double was so big to set everything up. And I know, boy, if he gets thrown out at the plate on that play, we might be having a different story.
Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't. And he gets a great jump, and he gets there. By the way, Yankees just took a 7-6 lead on a Yasiraldo Chisholm Jr. home run. I'm going to go with Victor Robles. I could also go with, Logan Gilbert.
Yeah.
Right? That's sung too. But, he was so freaking good today and put you in such a good position for tomorrow because tomorrow's going to be a really interesting game. I don't know if they've announced if it's Bryce Miller starting or not yet, but it's going to be Bryce Miller on the mound. He's going to have the shortest leash of shortest leashes. He is going to be
Jack Flaherty like today, but even shorter probably.
Well, what's funny is I think that it's fun. This is the first game I think Dan Wilson outmanaged AJ Hinch.
I agree.
Because I don't understand why Jack Flaherty was still in that game. Don't understand it at all. And it's not the exact reason they lost because they ended up getting mollywopped tonight. But He outmanaged him, but Bryce Miller has to be on such a short leash. Everybody's going to be. Craig says here, Miller 3 innings. I'm not even 100% sure you get that. You're going to get one time through the lineup. If it looks great, he might get a second time. He might. If not,
as soon as it starts to be shaky,
as soon as it's shaky, you have to. Knowing what you have coming on Sunday, or excuse me, on Friday. I keep thinking it's a weekend series, but knowing what you have coming and knowing that you hopefully have something coming Sunday, oh, you've got to be really short with it. But because Logan Gilbert gave you 6 innings, because he was so good, you have a chance now to have all hands on deck for at least 2 more games.
Yep. I'm going to agree with you with the unsung hero, Victor Robles. More of an unsung moment is actually that base running play, because that's the first run of the game.
Yeah.
It's super heads up base running by him. If you watch the video, he reacts instantly as soon as it goes through Dingler's legs. He is off, because if he is a half a second late to that, he is out. And that is a terrible missed opportunity, but he instantly reacts to it. That's amazing instincts, great base running. We won't talk about him getting thrown out at third base to end.
Yeah, that was a little silly. That was, I think, him wanting us to get to bed at an early hour. I appreciate that.
I'm fine with that. Hey, unsung hero for that.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? 21-24, 21-25. We haven't brought up Cal Raleigh at a home run. His 61st home run. Seeing that guy catch that ball, and I know it's on a bounce, that has a dump here shirt with the 6-1 on it. So, my God. That is, I thought Adam Wainwright, who, by the way, Adam Wainwright is so fantastic, and the other two are so freaking bad. I'm sorry. Locked On, I'm sorry. If you have a sponsorship, I'm sorry.
We don't. Waino is so much better than even John Smoltz.
Oh, my God. Close. It's not even close. Adam Wainwright is going to be the best announcer until he milkshake ducks and we find out that he actually hates baseball. Cal Raleigh, man. He's so freaking good. He played such a terrific baseball game today. He called an awesome game, called the splits. I'm going to be honest with you. These first 2 games were not my favorite called games from Cal Raleigh. There were some pitch selections that really bugged me. This was so good from Big Dumper. And that's why, even as I watch Aaron Judge carry his offense right now, Cal Raleigh's the MVP of the American League. Gosh damn it.
MVP, comment MVP in the chat to agree with Chris Crawford, because I completely agree with him. Also, like the video if you haven't already, and subscribe if you haven't already. This is the Mariners Postcast. We go live after every single Mariner game. You can catch Ty and Colby on Locked On Mariners. I believe they'll have an episode coming up late tonight, but we're your instant reaction right after the game. Come hang out. Every single Mariner game will be here with you guys. Really appreciate it. Mariners win 8-4 to take Game 3 of the ALDS. 1 win away from the ALCS, just 1 more, and then you keep going from there. These guys are not done yet. Chris Crawford, I'll give you the last word before we get out of here.
Just one more. Just one more.